Hey gang, and welcome to another Animal Crossing video. I'm Crossing Channel, and Nintendo loves to tease us with features and ideas that we can't use on our own islands. Of course, decorating is a huge part of Animal Crossing New Horizons, and throughout the game we can see lots of instances where there are certain design features which we don't have access to ourselves, despite the fact it would be really fantastic if we did. So I'll be checking out some of these in this video and going over my favorite ones. So let's jump into this. The first on this list is a customized variant of the suspension bridge in Happy Home Paradise. Now, this bridge is well known and loved by Animal Crossing fans. In fact, it's been in the series since New Leaf. However, you've never been able to customize your bridges in any of the games, and that includes Animal Crossing New Horizons, surprisingly. However, we do see that Nintendo has taken the time to customize this bridge themselves for use on the archipelago. Now, of course, this is just to make it look fancier and distinguish it from the regular bridges on our islands, but the truth is, it's exactly the same model, so the fact that we can see it customized here to a really cool color, in my opinion, actually looks better than the normal one. It honestly makes me feel really jealous and makes me wish that customizing our bridges was a feature that we could use on our own islands. This kind of shows that it wouldn't have been out of the realm of possibility for Nintendo, it's just something that they didn't want to add to the game. Personally though, I think it would have been really great if you could have customized the bridges and the inclines and made them look even more unique to your own islands and your own tastes. After all, we have so many options to decorate and design in the game that customizing our inclines and bridges to me would have been a given, but for some reason it wasn't something they included in New Horizons. So for the second item on this list, let's talk about things in the water. Now typically you can't really place anything in the rivers of your island, yet we see Nintendo do this a ton in different places in the game to help make their little rivers look even fancier in special places. For example, in the Happy Home Paradise archipelago, you can see these nice little sticks in the river which birds can actually land on, and it makes me wish so much that we could see these on our own islands and have birds land on them as well. It'd just be really nice and make the rivers feel a lot more natural, whereas on our own islands they do feel kind of sterile. It's really cool to me that on the archipelago they seem to have their own ecosystem and it just makes them feel a lot more lively. But this isn't the only place in the game where there are special things in the water. In the museum you've been able to see special things since the very start. For example, these plants you can see right at the bottom of the bug exhibit and they look so cool, and I really wish we could have them in our own rivers. And then of course the famous lily pads, which you could also see in this same room of the bug exhibit. I desperately wish we could have the lily pads. Oh my god, our rivers would look so good if we could have these things. It would just feel so cool, and it would really make our rivers feel like a living place rather than being something that is completely man-made, which I guess they kind of are if you use terraforming, but it'd be nice to have the options to make them feel even more natural. Animal Crossing modders for a long time now have been using their tools to put things in the rivers, so it is definitely possible within the game's code. It's just Nintendo doesn't want us to do this, so I'm not sure why they would hide these sort of features from us and not let us use them. I guess it is just to make these areas look even fancier. But I feel like if a player had progressed to a certain point, it'd be cool to let them put things in the river like rocks, reeds, lily pads, and much more, just so that it felt even more natural than before. So for the third item, we have to talk about a quality of life update that so many people have wanted to see, and that is of course rugs on the ground. This is something that people have been asking for in Animal Crossing New Horizons since the very start, and for some reason Nintendo has never decided to add it, despite the fact that you can see Sahara cheekily using her own rugs on the ground of Harvey's Island, and even Katrina has her own rug too. But if you think that's just for fancy decoration, well, Animal Crossing modders have shown us that you can use rugs on the ground if you have the right tools. Now unfortunately this is a feature that for most of us we won't ever be able to use, but it is something that once again is possible within the code of the game to do. Nintendo just decided never to fully add it. I'm not sure, maybe they struggled to get all of the rugs working properly on our islands, maybe it posed some kind of issues and they just didn't want to go through the effort of doing that when they could work on other things. I don't know, but personally I think this would have been really cool. I sometimes do see people say, well, why do you need rugs on the floor when you can use custom patterns? But rugs are a lot more detailed than the average custom patterns, and not to mention that you get them in lots of different sizes as well. For example, some of the rugs like the boardwalks and such would work really great on lots of different types of islands. So the fact that they're limited just to being inside has always felt like a bit of a shame to me, and it's something that I really wish Nintendo would consider adding maybe in a future installment if they aren't willing to do a tiny quality of life minor update for New Horizons with this. This is one of my favorites on this list. In at number 4, we have giant trees. So if you've been on the Happy Home Paradise Archipelago, you may have seen this absolutely massive palm tree next to the main building and the school as well. And this isn't even the only giant tree that we see. For example, when you head into the bug exhibit, you can see a whole bunch of different shaped trees which grow really tall. And this just makes a lot of sense, honestly. Trees obviously can grow really tall in the real world, so the fact that they sort of stay at a certain height and don't grow any taller in Animal Crossing just feels a little bit odd to me. It'd be so cool to walk through your island or your town or whatever, surrounded by really tall trees, then some smaller trees, baby trees, just a whole variety. It would make the game feel even more natural and just so much more alive, and I feel like it'd be a really simple thing for the Nintendo team to do when working on this game. Definitely in the future, I'm hoping that we do finally get to see a wider variety of trees. We saw a lot of really cool tree items added to the game, yet they aren't ones that we can grow ourselves, and I really want to be able to grow trees and have them naturally grow super duper tall. Just imagine birds nesting in them as well. It would make them feel even better, and again, give our island this really cool ecosystem. Speaking of palm trees, we have to talk about a pretty infamous one on the Happy Home Paradise Archipelago, and that's that you can see palm trees on the grass, which is something you cannot do yourself anywhere else. Now, first of all, I just thought to myself, okay, this is because it's a special archipelago. Of course, the palm trees can grow on the grass here. But what's really interesting to me is the fact that for a little period of time on one of the Kapp'n Islands, you were also able to see palm trees just sitting on the grass there as well. They decided to actually patch this though and make it so that there is sand underneath all of them. I guess they did this so not to confuse Animal Crossing players thinking they could finally put palm trees on the grass because you still can't. But for some reason, it is still like this on the archipelago. Now personally, and I feel like a lot of people agree with me on this, you shouldn't have to put sand underneath a palm tree to make it grow. After all, palm trees can grow just on grass like this. Yes, it's more common to see them by the beach and such, but it's not unheard of for them to be on grass either. I get what Nintendo was going for here, and I kind of like the idea, but personally, I just feel like it's a bit of an inconvenience, and honestly, I don't feel like it looks too good when you've got the sand underneath your palm trees, so this is a limitation that I really wish they would have taken away. This may even be the easiest thing on the entire list for them to have done, yet for some reason, once again, they chose not to. Still, I do think there are a ton of really great design features in Animal Crossing New Horizons for us all to enjoy, but I just wish that they had let us use some of these really cool ones that they show off as well. It's nice to have special things which make the archipelago and such look really cool, but it does make me feel super jealous that we can't use them on our own islands. But let me know in the comments section down below, what interesting design features or maybe items that you can't obtain yourself have you seen around the game that you really wish we could get? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. If you made it to the end, be sure to comment Bob's Gang so I know that you did. And if you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and turn on channel notifications for more Animal Crossing videos. I want to give a big thanks to these channel members for their continued support of me and what I do here on this channel. If you want to become a channel member, click the join button down below the video or the link in the description to learn more. You can get a whole bunch of cool perks like exclusive emojis, a badge by your name, access to our members only Discord and our members only podcast too.